The Oliver K-5, I believe, 16 horsepower outboard motor. I picked it up in Watertown, South Dakota. Well, west of there, Henry, I guess. It came this one, and then there was a parts mortar of sorts that went along with it. But when I got this one, I was pleased because under the hood here, there he is. 2 cylinders with a big part there, an electric starter. To get this thing going the first time, well, I thought, well, first we're going to pull the plugs and get oil in there. So we pulled the plugs, put oil in there. I knew before I got it that everything was free because I gave the pull rope a little turn at Watertown, and the prop turn because it was in gear here. Anyhow, everything was pretty frozen up on this. I don't know quite what happened, but you can see there's a fair amount of corrosion in there, down in here. I guess I don't know what it was, but all together here, all the linkages were completely frozen on the carburetor, on the throttle. Nothing here up here on the magneto or the flywheel would move. Well, the flywheel would move, but everything external to the engine was frozen. The gear selector was frozen, but got it out, got the oil in there, turned it over. I was able then to run here with the switch and the electrical down to the battery. The starter worked, turned it over, pulled the plugs, put my thumb on there, popped my thumb off, couldn't hold it on. Good compression on both cylinders that way. Then, let's see, what was next? I had the plugs off, so I went ahead and grounded them out, no spark. So that meant getting in here, pulling off the pull start, getting a puller to pop the flywheel off then as well to expose the magneto. And when I exposed the magneto, I found, let me see, yep, not coming apart. 1 second, Mom, I'm making a video. I pulled the magneto apart, it looked like that. Not good. Not good, no spark. The other magneto didn't look great. Didn't look like that. Both of them looked a little bit more like that, but with some less white stuff on it. Thought, well, what the heck, it's going to cost me a whole bunch of money to try to source one of those. And so I pulled it off, put it on, had spark. Great! So moved on to the next, and that was freeing up the carburetor. The old carburetor was filled with bugs and all kinds of crap. So I ended up taking the parts carburetor, moving half the linkages over to it, because it had one good free linkage, moved the other linkage over for the choke. Was able to get everything moving and working again. You can see there, that was completely frozen solid for the choke. Then over here on the hand throttle, which was also missing off the main motor, I was able to take and get it moving again. It was completely frozen solid. Everything in here though is moving. You'll see, and it's an amazing thing. You turn this, it gets in here to a corkscrew or a cog of sorts that, you know, in any direction is just fine for turning. Runs down this shaft, hits this cog system down here, comes up this shaft, around over here to this linkage that actuates the magneto, and then at the same time you'll see here it comes down and hits this big crescent shape that then, you know, advances, or as the timing advances, it increases your fuel. Then you'll see here that thing moving along, but everything was frozen solid. So we got a carburetor that's working now, should be. We got spark. The magneto's taken care of. The pull start's a little stiff, but you got an electric starter, so what's that matter? The next thing there is getting fuel to the system. I don't know if this vacuum fuel pump's any good. I didn't feel anything when I was turning the motor over as far as suction, but I figure we just get gravity fed into that carburetor and we'll see what happens today. So there you go, guys.